What is something that most people won't believe, but is actually true? Almonds are from the peach family. Orcas eat moose. Komodo dragons usually reproduce sexually, but females in captivity have been known to reproduce by parthenogenesis, without the need for sperm. And Frank, Martin Luther King, and Barbara Walters were all born in the same year. Humans can smell some components of the smell of rain, the geosmin part of petrichor, specifically far better than sharks can smell blood in water. We are very sensitive to it. Sharks are older than trees. Some tortoises can breathe through their butthole. The shortest commercial flight in the world lasted 57 seconds. It was a Loganair flight between two Scottish islands, Westray and Papa Westray. It was recorded the shortest commercial flight, with a distance of 1.7 miles. There would be a lot more ancient Egyptian mummies if we didn't grind most of them up to paint with or eat. The northernmost point in Brazil is closer to Canada than it is to the southernmost point in Brazil. The number of ants on Earth has a mass greater than all birds and mammals combined. More plastic flamingos exist on Earth than living flamingos. The same is true for unicorns. Everest is nowhere close to being the farthest away from the center of the Earth. The top of Chimborazo in Ecuador is 2.1 kilometers farther away. Even crazier is that Chimborazo isn't even the highest mountain in the Andes. Strawberry is not a berry, but banana is. The guy who played the villain in Karate Kid 3, Terry Silver, Thomas Ian Griffith, is actually 7 months younger than Ralph Macchio, Daniel LaRusso. It's weird because the Karate Kid was still supposed to be under 18 and the villain was supposed to have fought in Vietnam. I'm shocked by the amount of people that refuse to believe narwhals are real animals. I've got one tattooed on my forearm, so I probably get people talking to me about them more often than normal, lol. It usually ends in me pulling up pictures on Google, and them still being skeptical. Antarctica is the world's largest desert. Crickets' ears are on their legs. Black pepper is a stone fruit, similar to an apricot. A lot of these answers aren't even things I wouldn't believe. They're just things I straight up didn't know. Interesting thread. Humpback whales will turn on their back and let seals jump on their stomachs to save them from orcas because they fucking hate orcas. Most companies have terrible IT security. The rope around the Earth problem: take a rope tied tautly around a basketball. Now the rope must be lengthened so that there is a 1-foot gap between the ball and the rope at all points, as if the rope is hovering a foot away around the entirety of the ball. How much must the rope be lengthened to accomplish this? 6.28 feet. Now take a rope tied tautly around the equator of the Earth. We have the same goal for the 1-foot hovering gap around the entirety of the Earth. How far must the rope be lengthened? 6.28 feet. X200b. This is so counterintuitive just about no one will believe it until shown the math. The porcupines are very good climbers, so sometimes they climb trees. Pineapples take 3 years to grow. Unicorn is the national animal of Scotland. An infinite supply of food would not solve world hunger. We actually have more than enough food to end world hunger. The issue is with distribution logistics. Humans are the best long-distance runners in the animal kingdom. The reason the USA has so many grape-flavored drinks and Europe has nearly none is that blackcurrants have been banned in the USA. The ducks at the pond are free. Vegetable is a culinary term for savory fruit, or tubers, or leaves, and has never been rigidly defined. When people say tomatoes are a fruit, they're ignoring the distinctions made when you jump over from botany to cooking. The most dangerous part of flying in an aircraft is the drive to the airport. A single coal power plant produces more toxic waste in a year than every nuclear power plant has ever made. Pure water is actually an insulator and does not conduct electricity. It is the impurities dissolved in the water that conduct electricity. Platypus glow under black lights. There are an infinite number of rational numbers. Similarly, there are an infinite number of irrational numbers. If you pick a number at random, though, it is almost 100% certain to be an irrational number. Almost all numbers are irrational. Job hoppers get paid more. Sorry HR, you're dumber than psychology. The atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima released an amount of energy equivalent to the conversion of 0.7 grams, about the weight of a paperclip, of matter into energy. I did not get type 1 diabetes because I ate too much sugar. I suspect it was chickenpox that caused the autoimmune response that killed my insulin-producing cells, but I'll probably never know for sure. But, no. It was not because I ate too much sugar. Fact is, we were a no added sugar and no junk food household in the early 70s. The same amount of water has been on Earth since the beginning. We are basically drinking, swimming in, and hopefully respectfully enjoying the same water that dinosaurs and our ancestors drank, bathed, swam, and enjoyed. Grindr came before Tinder. There was more time between the building of the Great Pyramids and Cleopatra than there is between Cleopatra and now. People only notice when things don't work, not when they work. So people think trains are late and that it rains way more often than in actuality. Mexican Independence Day is not Cinco de Mayo. Your privacy matters and it has nothing to do with you having nothing to hide. Sharks existed before the rings of Saturn. Shark knowledge goes up to 350-400 million years back. The rings of Saturn only formed around 10-100 million years ago. James Garfield could write in Greek with one hand and in Latin with the other at the same time. It's not only mathematically possible, but not out of the realm of real possibility that most drivers are, in fact, better than average. To make this true, you just need a small set of really bad drivers, say with multiple views. That just because it's on a Reddit thread like this doesn't mean it's true. At birth, kangaroos are roughly the size of a jelly bean. There are, indeed, singles willing to meet you in the area. Jamaica, we have a bobsled team. The more options you have to choose from, the less satisfied you will be with your final choice. Some situations are hopeless even when you do everything right and try very hard. So don't be hard on yourself. Hawkins Lab from Stranger Things is actually the old site for GMHI where they used to pump my now best friend full of ADHD meds until he flatlined. They were able to do this to him because he was a ward of the state. He had many friends that didn't make it out of there. Emory have kept these trials under wraps even through the filming of the show. Humans are asymmetrical. Half your body is different from the other half. It's not just one bulb being bigger or smaller or one nut being lower, it's the entire body. Seriously, take a knife and cut half your face off and put a mirror next to it. See how creepy one side of your face is? A French guy once ate an entire airplane. You are more likely to die from a cow than dying by sharks. Project MKUltra is not a hoax. CIA did experiment drugs on pregnant women and others to mastermind people. They had to tell the truth years ago, but if you ask now, no one knows that story and believe you're just another conspirator. Tomatoes are fruits because they form from a flower and contain seeds. In spite of this, the U.S. Supreme Court in 1893 ruled that the tomato should be classified as a vegetable. Margarine is not healthy. I once found a 7-leaf clover, but a monkey stole it from me and ate it.